Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
You know, his authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, everyone. Today's court session is something else. The case is listed under the name Matthew Aldridge, but the man standing at the podium insists he's not that person. Instead, he's claiming to be an attorney of fact, which isn't even a recognized legal role. This is a common tactic used by so-called sovereign citizens who argue that the court has no authority over them. But the truth is, if you're in the court's jurisdiction, it absolutely does have authority. No exceptions. The judge sees right through the act and doesn't waste any time shutting it down. By the end, the judge handles the situation brilliantly and leaves no room for debate. Let's dive into what happened.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent mayor.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not at this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't we court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me.
Have a copy of it.
Oh, apparently there's a copy here.
Well, now here's where it gets even more unbelievable. This man claims he's an attorney of fact, and to prove it, he hands the judge a piece of paper. You didn't see that part because it was a bit slow, but trust me, it was just a document quoting some made-up law he believes gives him the right to represent Matthew Aldridge. For anyone wondering, real attorneys must be licensed by the state and follow official legal procedures. You can't just write something on paper and call it law. Sovereign citizens like this often argue about jurisdiction, thinking they can opt out of the legal system by declaring themselves above it. But here's the truth. It doesn't work. Courts follow real laws, not self-invented ones. And today's judge made it clear he wasn't buying into any of that. Is it just me? Or are these sovereign citizen cases becoming more common? Or am I just unlucky to keep coming across them? Let me know what you think in the comments.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be a article pre-trial, a trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this. And I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately, it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right, to Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
This judge is handling the situation like a total professional. He stays calm, doesn't lose his cool, and shuts the guy down at every step. The man barely got his attorney of fact argument out before the judge picked it apart, bit by bit. You can tell the judge has probably seen this kind of thing before, and he wasn't having any of it, especially once the man started quoting fake laws. One moment that really stood out was when the judge said the guy couldn't even say his own name. That was oddly funny. Judges usually stay very serious, so that quick remark definitely caught me off guard. But from the very beginning, it was obvious the judge wasn't going to waste time on this nonsense. In the end, this whole scene just proves how pointless and silly these so-called sovereign citizen arguments really are.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go.
Sovereign citizens are honestly something else. These are people who believe they can remove themselves from the legal system just by saying they don't recognize the government's authority. You'll hear them talk about things like common law or the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, but they clearly misunderstand what those things actually mean. Just to clear it up, courts follow real federal, state, and local laws that have been around for generations, backed by the Constitution. There's no magic loophole that lets you ignore the rules. But despite that, these folks keep showing up in court, using bizarre arguments that waste time and accomplish nothing, except maybe getting themselves into even more legal trouble. Legally, their whole defense falls apart because of something basic: jurisdiction. If you're physically in an area, the court there has the authority over you, period. No made-up legal phrases can change that. Judges have seen this all before. And not only do they not buy into it, they often hand down tougher penalties for wasting the court's time. I really don't understand why people keep trying this stuff. Do they actually believe they've found a way around the law? Or is it just some strange way of rebelling? Either way, it's not helping them. It's just embarrassing. Anyway, that's it for my breakdown today. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what do you think about these sovereign citizen cases? Thanks so much for watching, and take care.